Hello and welcome to the second week of the ResetEra GT Sport Race League. This was the second race of the night and we were driving GT3 cars around Dragon Trail. There's a quick look at the timing monitor to show you the qualifying positions, and any second now we'll start the race. So the cars are on the grid and the drivers are ready and we are about to start this race. Lots of smoke in the background there as it looks like Von put his power down way too hard and it slid him out slightly. DHC qualified first, followed by Sander. Looks like Khan's moved up a place into third ahead of Mitch. Although it's going to be so tight through this first corner. On board with Sander now as we approach this flat out corner. Such a nice corner, you're flat out through here, then it's hard on the brakes and you're trying to slow it down, yet carry enough speed to push onto the straight. Khan runs a little wide there, followed by Anxious. Mitch takes third place back again. This looks like it's already going to be a decent battle and we're only halfway through lap one. Tofu in the background there, followed by FIFA Nuts. Khan runs wide, he dips a rear wheel onto the gravel. That's going to compromise his run into this corner. That's the Anxious brake way later and he takes fourth place from Khan. So we approach the double chicane now. Oh, hang on, that looks like Tofu Hero in the background's run a little wide and he's hit the wall. As Khan also clips the wall in between the chicanes. We have a look here at the leader, DHC, followed by Sander. In the background there's Mitch. Looks like Anxious may have taken third though. I'm sure we'll cut to that in a second. These three have been nose to tail since the start of the race as they cross the line for the second lap. August Khan on the inside, there's Mitch behind Anxious, who looks like he's slipstreaming. They're not going to go three wide into this corner, surely not. A recipe for disaster. Yet they all make it through. You can see how hard Mitch had to brake. As he runs wide over the curbing there, shot him off, but he's managed to hold on to it, I think. Great driving there. Anxious clips the inside. Brakes really hard, brakes really deep, and he's off into the gravel. Mitch takes third, Khan comes into fourth. Looks like there's going to be pressure from FIFA Nuts on Anxious now. Can we see him in the back? No, Anxious has held that position. Mitch running slightly wide there, flashing his lights as he goes, as we have a quick look at the lap chart. You see DHC slightly ahead of Sanders. We have three little groups battling out now. Comes on the inside. Oh, he's clipped FIFA Nuts' rear end. FIFA Nuts has spun out and he's into the Armco. As you can see him respawn there. Looks like Tofu Hero. There's Von Hammer there slowing down to avoid contact. All four drivers approach the chicane. Tofu followed by Von Hammer, followed by FIFA Nuts, followed by Anxious. FIFA Nuts looks to run a little deep and Anxious runs into the back of him. Not much he could do about making contact there as he was sliding in front of him. So the last few corners now has been a bit of a nightmare for both these drivers, but they're still powering on. So they approach the final corner to start lap 3. And that looks like Von Hammer running a bit slow there. Apparently he's had a 5-second penalty for trying to avoid contact earlier. I can only imagine the profanity coming from his cockpit right now. And we return to the battle for third place between Mitch and August Khan. I don't know, it seems to me as if they may have caught up with Sanders slightly. I don't know if he's had an incident, but you can just see him flashing through in the foreground there. As August Khan takes that curb really hard. Yeah, I don't know if, like I say, if Sanders had an incident or if these guys have picked up the pace. But as you can see from this shot now, any mistake from any one of these drivers could cost them 2 places at least. I mean, it's that close for this second place battle, really. Austin car ran wide there earlier, but he hits it nicely this time, and he's carrying so much speed down this straight. On board with Mitch. As we look behind him, we can see the gap visibly. This double chicane section's so cool in this car, or any of these GT3 cars. They just ride the curbs really well and they stick like glue. You can absolutely throw it into that second chicane. Great views here as Mitch comes through the double tunnel. And then you can see the gap between himself and Sander in second. Again, I have to reiterate, any mistake from Sander, and these two players would be all over him. If he runs wide, gets into the gravel trap, he's done. So there's just enough pressure, I think, on Sander to keep it going. Back now with DHC, who's led from pole position in this race so far. He's been very consistent, hitting all the apexes, been really quick, set fastest time, and he seems to be driving that car really well. And it's such a good looking car too. I do like it. We had a bit of pressure from Sander for the first few laps, but Sander dropped off and it's been plain sailing since then. As we pull up a replay at the start of the race, you can see Von Hammer spinning up really badly there. Ethan also had a slight spin, but the car managed to control it better than Von Hammer. Tofu on the inside, looking like a rutty boy just ahead of them. And it looked clean when I first seen this. There's a slight incident coming up, nothing major. But he loses the back end, careers into the front end of Tofu. Tofu uses that Ferrari power just to get himself ahead. As the DHC now comes to the final corner, about to start the last lap. This was the penalty incident I took. I thought it was a harsh 5 seconds, I'm not going to lie. I couldn't see anything that may have caused it. But anyway, I'm not being bitter. I sort of am. Anyway, DHC starts the final lap. And who else can we look at but the battle for third place between Mitch and Noga's Calm? They have been at it from the word go. It's been an epic race between these two guys. Been nip and tuck all the way. There's never been more than a couple of seconds between them. As he approached the first chicane for the final time, Mitch drops the front wheel in there. Sander's still just ahead of him as we're on board with August Khan. This corner again, it's just flat out, but it can cost you. Both run a little wide. That's Mitch into the tyre, and August Khan can't do anything but career straight into him at a ridiculous force. I mean, if I was in Mitch's car and I was seeing that in the cockpit view, I would literally be throwing up all over the windscreen. No questions asked. It was just a huge impact. August Khan in third place, then Mitch seems to be pushing really hard right now, trying to get this place back on the last lap, and he's gone off. The same place August Khan went off on the first lap, he's gone off. Back with DHC now as he comes to the final chicane for the last time, and he's made contact as well. There's all sorts going on this last lap. I don't think Sander's close enough to do anything about this, but this last lap's been a nightmare for all the drivers. See Sander there coming out on the second of the bridges. Despite DHC dominating, that one little incident could have cost him if it had been earlier on. But still, he's driven from the front, led all the way through the race, set the fastest lap. That's a great race from DHC Shano. Followed in there by Sander. August Khan in third. I'm not sure who's got fourth, but I imagine it's Mitch. We'll check the results screen at the end. This is Tofu followed by Anxious in sixth. I mean, Tofu's got enough of a gap to hold fifth unless he makes a really big mistake on the last corner, but he's been solid throughout the race. He started last, he's come up to fifth. That's a good drive for him, especially after the first lap because he had an incident in one of the corners. So there we pretty much have it. That's the second race from the ResetEra League, and overall it looked pretty good. The result screens: in first place DHC Shano, second place Sander, third place Ogres Khan, fourth Mitch, fifth Tofu Hero, sixth Anxious, seventh FIFA Nuts, and myself on Hammer in last. I want to thank everyone for turning up, and a special thanks to Rutty Boy for hosting. It was a good night racing, and hopefully see you all again soon. Goodbye.